Away in a manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. The stars in the bright sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. The cattle are lowing, the baby awakes, but little Lord Jesus no crying he makes. I love thee, Lord Jesus, look down from the sky and stay by my side until morning is nigh. Be near me, Lord Jesus, I ask thee to stay close by me forever and love me, I pray. Bless all the dear children in thy tender care, and fit us for heaven to live with thee there. Good morning, everyone. Happy Flossmas Day 11. I think it's Saturday the 11th. I haven't checked my calendar. And you're going to be like, well, what happened to 8, 9, and 10? And I'm going to be like, I didn't make a video those days. I was basically stricken with a migraine. And so I came home from work Wednesday night just feeling very tired. Very tired to the point that I just didn't want to do anything. So I didn't make a video that night. Overnight, I became very, I have morning allergies here. That's what's going on here. Overnight, Wednesday night, I got very, very migrainous. And so I just couldn't do it. I got very, very, probably one of the worst migraines I've ever had. So, of course, Thursday I didn't go into work. I really couldn't do much of anything. It was sitting right behind my eyes. And so Thursday, I basically laid in bed. I didn't really do anything at all. I did watch the Tiger King season 2. There's only 5 episodes. One later in the day when I started to feel a little bit better. And then I did later in the day, I did do a little bit of crafting. I'll show you all of that later, all of my progress later on in the day. And then yesterday, I was just still feeling Friday, Friday. I was still feeling kind of that like post-migraine fogginess and everything. So I just wanted to give myself time to recuperate. I did go to work yesterday though. So that was a plus. So today, it's Saturday. I'm recuperating. I'm hoping to hit the gym and get back into my normal weekend routine. I have lots of crafting plans that I have ready to go. And it is about 8:30 here in the morning on Saturday. I showed you a little bit of, it is a beautiful summer day in December. It's going to be rainy, I guess, and 70 degrees. So, not sure where winter is, and hence why I'm getting migraines, because the barometric pressure cannot stabilize. But that's, well, I guess we'll take it, because we're going to have to. I need to do a little bit of shaving here today, because I'm getting a little grizzly. And I think I'm going to start with some knitting. So later on in the day, I have a finish to show you, and I have some decent progress on another stitching project today, and I might move on to something else. I said I was going to pull out Red Panda. I don't know if I feel like doing that today, so we'll see what I end up working on today. But until then, I'm going to log off for now, and I'm going to go get the coffee that I just showed you making. And I am going to drink my coffee and knit some yarn. Hey, Yins. So I'm going to do a little bit of tender love and care for TLC for my philodendron bipinfolium. So this is one of my favorite philodendrons, as you can see. It's also commonly known as the horsehead philodendron. I think you can figure out why it's called that. Anyways, so it's producing a new set of leaves, but it's been stuck in this position for quite a while. So I've been watching some videos on how I can manage that. Disregard all the dishes over there in the sink. Anywho, so I'm going to take some paper towel. I'm going to wet the paper towel and just give it some moisture, some humidity. And then I'm going to take some Q-tip and try to ease it carefully out of the petiole and see if I can get it freed from its bondage here. What's great about this philodendron is I bought this philodendron from a cutting on Etsy. I no longer have that original plant piece, but you can see it on my Instagram. But all of this stuff, everything that's here is a new growth. And from that original cutting that I bought back in a year ago, back in this, I think I bought it maybe February, March of last year. And it's now, I have it on a moss pole that I bought on Amazon. And it's actually bound to the moss pole. This is one of the first plants I've ever gotten to actually bind to the moss pole. And I no longer have to have it secured with any kind of like gardening tape, so which is great. So it's actually standing up on its own, and because it's growing upright, the leaves are going to get larger in size. So if it were to hang over or anything like that, the leaves would get smaller, or they would stay the same size. But because it's secured onto a pole or a board of some kind, and it's growing upright, it will actually get larger. I love this plant. All right, I'm going to take care of it. I can't do it with one hand, so I will come back and show you the results. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, pray for me that I don't do any damage. Well, that was easier than expected. So I held my wet washcloth, rag, dish, paper towel on it for maybe 30 seconds, a minute, just to ensure that there was ample wetness there. So maybe that it had some humidity and lubrication. And then I took a Q-tip and I stuck it underneath the new stem that was coming here, and just kind of gave it a little push and it popped right out. And then this piece up here of the leaf was still kind of stuck in the petiole up here farther, so I just stuck it under a little bit further up and it popped right out. So I am not going to touch this any further. This will unfurl on its own and it will be a beautiful surprise. Hopefully it will grow into something beautiful like this in a few days or weeks time. So I am very excited and happy to see what comes about of this. So I will eventually have to add a new moss pole here because these will grow out. These aerial roots will grow out and they will need something to attach to. So I will need to get, I have one, I just need to get it set in here. So I'm just kind of waiting because I kind of like the look of it without the moss pole. But I will have to get that here soon so the aerial roots here have something to adhere to. Other than that, my gardening hack is done for the day. But there we go. I bet now that this is out and unstuck, this will unfurl rather quickly. And then this will grow as it matures. So this is not done growing because it has plenty. Now they grow as they mature and harden off. All right, check in with you later.
Hey Yins, happy Flossmas. It is day 11. So I've been filming all throughout the day and I hope you've enjoyed that. I am now sitting down here to my desk. It is about 4:45, so 3:45 in the evening. It's afternoon still. It looks like evening outside. It's been dreary all day. But I am here today to give you a update on everything I've been working on for the past, 4 days now, since I haven't filmed in previous 3 days, and you haven't seen my work in the last today yet. So it's been 4 days of progress, limited progress over the first couple days, and then some pretty good progress yesterday and today. So a few projects. I've been really focusing on a couple projects. I have a finish, like I said earlier. We'll talk about that. There might be a tweak on that project, and we'll go from there. So let's first start with what I was focusing on at the beginning of those 4 days of work. So first off, it was my knitting. So I was knitting on my shawl. I always call it a shawl. It's not a shawl. It's a scarf. It's the Sesha, Sheesha scarf. You can find that for as a free digital download on Ravelry. I'm knitting it with the Knit Picks palette fingering weight yarn in the color Douglas fir that I've had in my stash for years and years and years. I'm doing 2 balls of that yarn that I have in stash. So it's the palette Douglas fir yarn, and it's Knit Picks. And here is my progress so far. So I've completely used up one of the balls. This is all that I have left. I don't think I can get another row repeat, so I'm going to end it there. I'll cut that off and I'll weave it in. But there is my progress. So since the last time you saw it, there's my progress keeper, that's how much I have completed. So there is the design. There's how much I've gotten accomplished. So nice, good bit of progress there so far. So I think what I'm doing is, excuse me as I itch my ear. I think I'm doing 60 repeats of the pattern. So I'm just over, I think I'm at 39 right now. So I'm well over. I won't use this entire ball of yarn. I don't think I did in the last one either, but that's where I'm at so far. I might make this one longer than the last one that I did, but that is where I'm at so far. Coming along nicely. That was a nice stitch to work on when I was coming out of the migraine. So that is my scarf. So I did make it to the gym today. I came home from the gym, got cleaned up. I actually repotted another plant after the gym that was doing that, I think went into dormancy. It was one of my alocasias. I have it over on my plant stand away from the window, and I put it under a glass cloche. So I'm hoping that being under the glass cloche will give it some humidity and will pop it back into life, because I bought it and then it died on me. But I know alocasias will often go into dormancy and then revigorate. So I'm not going to just throw it away. So the next thing I worked on was the Queen's crowns. So I had said that I was going to be working on this on Tuesday night, the last time I filmed. And then Tuesday night, and then I worked on this. And this is actually the finish that I have. So I worked on this on Tuesday night. I didn't finish this Tuesday night, but I was so close to a finish that I just continued working on this Thursday, I think. And I finished this on Thursday. So this is the Queen's Crowns by Plum Street Sampler. I am stitching this 1/1 on 28 count, so it's going to be much smaller than the original plan. The original stitch calls for. And I'm stitching this on 28 count coffee dyed Lugana that I coffee dyed myself, coffee dipped and baked. And this is, here it is. Oh, it's actually looking much nicer on camera than it does in real life. There we go. So this is 28 count coffee dyed and baked, coffee dipped and baked Lugana. It's a white. Was this white? Yeah, this was a white coffee dyed and baked Lugana by the recipe that, or how I do it on. Let me rewind. I did a tutorial that I have on my channel that you can follow if you like. There's also many other tutorials that you can find on YouTube. Pick and choose if you want, whichever one you want to do. They're all about the same. So this is the piece of fabric that I think I did in that tutorial. And so here it is. This is, I obviously made some changes from the original pattern. So this is a 28 count, like I said, 1/1 instead of 2/2 or 2/1. I did so the original calls for Belle Soie silks. I do not have Belle Soie, so I used the DMC for the red. And then I substituted Anchor Black on the spools for the black. And then I wanted something a little bit different for the word. So what I decided to do was pick out a antique gold color, which I don't remember which one I used. It was like a 38 something for the word. Now in real life, it's kind of hard to see. But on camera, it looks great. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But whenever I look at it, well, no, from a distance, it doesn't look too bad. I think once I get it framed up, it'll look fine. So I'm not going to worry about it. So there we go. I have my signature here on the bottom corner for 2021, and this is the finish. So I'm very pleased with it, very happy with it. And it will go into my finished pile, and this will be finished. I also did the Queen Elizabeth sampler earlier this year, and I'm going to frame these together and put them together somewhere. I think they will look really nice together, since they are, I believe they're also both Plum Street sampler patterns. So they're on different fabrics, but that's quite all right. So that is a finish. Well, hopefully not the last finish I have this year, because I'm hoping to still have a finish on my red panda. So that is the finish that I have. I didn't want to do that. That is the finish I have for that's the finish I have for today. Next up, I worked on my medieval tapestry sampler by Cross Stitch Row. Things are falling all over the place. All right. So I worked on my medieval tapestry sampler. This is by Cross Stitch Row. You can find it on Etsy. That is what it will look like when it's finished. Of course, my colors are changed based on my color palette. I am stitching this using DMC 400. And I'm stitching this on 40 count cobblestone, 40 count cobblestone linen by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. So this is 40 count cobblestone linen by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And here's where I've gotten. So I've completely finished page 1. So this is all page 1. It's a little bit behind the Q-snap. Can't help that. But you've seen that before if you've been following me for a while now. If you haven't, welcome to my channel. I'm Ginger Gerald. You can find me here on YouTube as well as on Instagram at ginger.gerald.stitcher. Everything is in the information section below, so feel free to check that out. My Etsy store is also linked below. Anyways, this is where I'm at so far on the medieval tapestry sampler. I am stitching this one strand of the DMC over 2 strands of the fabric, so 1 over 2 on the 40 count. Many people will ask me what this is. This is the clamp for my Lowry floor stand. So that is what that is. It's just easier to take it right off and just slide it off of my stand, because I'm going to put it right back on instead of taking the whole, instead of unscrewing it from the clamp. So this is where I am at so far. Everything that from here over is basically where I stitched since you last saw it. And that is a page finish. So page 1 is completely done. I am now cranking out page 2. We are going to be going into the first horse, which is kind of cool. The first guy on the horse here, you can, let me put this down. You can see this is where I'm at right here. Still lots to go. It's a big design, but that is where I'm at here so far. It stitches up pretty quick once you get going and once you start cranking it out. But that's where I'm at. So I will be working down this way. I'm probably not going to work much more on this because I'm planning on moving on to something else. This was just I was working on this. I wanted to get the page finish. So this is page 1. Down here is page 7 because there's 12. I believe it's 12 pages of the design. The last 6 pages is just a small shrivel of a page. But as I'm going, I'm just gonna design complete the whole way down and then work my way across that way, because it fits into the entire Q-snap, so why not? And then just work left to right the entire way across the design. So there we go. That is Medieval Tapestry Sampler. Okay, come on. Come on. There we go. Last thing I worked on, and which is what I've worked on the majority of... Last thing I worked on, what I've worked on the majority of today, is I restarted my Beau Sarone sweater. The Beau Sarone, this is a paid for pattern on Ravelry. I paid for this pattern, this design, by designs by, is it Des? Designs by, yeah, Vincent Deslans, Deslandes. So this is a pattern designs by Des, I think, Dez, something like that. The Beau Sarone. The Beau Sarone. If you're interested in this pattern, the Beau Sarone. Of course, you can see why I'm interested in this, because it's yellow and gray, and of course I picked those colors. If you've been following me for a while, you already know that. Of course, you can pick whatever colors you want, but I was intrigued by those colors. So these are the colors that I'm doing. It calls for a DK weight yarn. I chose to go with a DK weight yarn that I've never worked with before, and this is Cotton. So this is a cotton linen blend that I bought from Knit Picks. So this is a 70% Tengus cotton, 30% linen, which I'm really enjoying working with. And so this is in the mustard color, mustard seed color. And the gray is ash. And so what I worked on this morning is you start from the collar and then you work down, and I completed the collar. And I'm much happier with how it's turning out this time versus the last time I did the knit this up. But here we go. So here we are. So that is, okay, so it uses German short rows to work on the back. So I did the collar and the short row back, short rows for the back. And I'm now ready to start it doesn't really look like much right now, but I'm now ready to start the color work. So there is so you know this, the thicker part in the back there, that's the back. So this is the back. This is the front of the collar. So this would go in up here in the front. This is the back, because of course you want more to have it to come up farther on the back of your neck. And then I will start the color work now. So we are now down, I am now down to the part here where I will be doing the gray and the yellow together, which is really exciting. And that's basically where I got to the last time before I pulled it all out and had to start over again. I didn't have to start over again. I chose to start over again. So I'm very happy to be where I was before. And that took a few hours today. But I'm much happier with the way it's looking now compared to how it looked the last time. And of course, whenever I block it out, all those imperfections will, you know, all the waviness of the stitches and everything will block out much nicer. So there we go. So that is my Beau Sarone sweater. And that's where I've gotten up to today with everything that I have done. So I have done a lot. I've done a little bit of stitching, a little bit of knitting, a little bit of gardening, some laundry, went to the gym today, and now I'm going to go do some shopping because I have to get groceries for meal prepping for tomorrow. So I hope you all have a wonderful, a wonderful rest of your evening or day, whenever you choose to watch this. And until I see you again, as always, happy Flossmas. Enjoy whatever crafting adventure you get into. And until I see you tomorrow, don't forget to always be creative.